Well, hello, everyone. Yes, you read that right. This is Sunday gathering number, get ready for it, 225. So hard to believe that not too long ago we came together for a short term, which became forever. I do think our Sunday gathering will be going long after we're on this side of the earth. Anyways, today I'm really happy to share that I'm with our good friend, of course, Darren Wynn, and we have guest medium and speaker and, brother to all, Dominic Boag is with us today. It's a bittersweet day, I have to tell you. On this side, on the sweet side of life, there's some real excitement. I know the European Football Championship game is today between England and Spain, and I know there's many of you that will speed through our Sunday gathering to watch that. The whole world is watching. It's sweet having Dominic and Darren with us today. They've just come from a terrific event that they put on called Together with Spirit. It was an afterlife conference. I'm sure there's some really good things they'll share with us today. Unfortunately, here in the United States, yesterday, something very awful happened. There was an attempted assassination of our former president, and there was a man caught in the crossfire trying to protect his wife and his girls, and he was killed, plus two others critically injured. And between that, the wars going on in the world, the suffering, pain, I do know from many of our community members, there's really some tough things going on. So we hope while you're here at our Sunday gathering each and every week that we inspire you about the bigger picture of life and the reality of the afterlife, that we give you some good tools you can use as a human being right now, and that we leave you inspired, comforted, and maybe even sprinkle in a little joy and smiles. We're grateful you're here. So whatever it is that has you here, we're so grateful you're part of our community. Let me turn it over to Darren. He has picked our songs today, and I'm feeling a little theme going through them, and he'll share more about our Sunday gathering. Over to you, Darren.
Thank you for that, Sandra, and a massive hello to each and every one of you. I haven't been on for a couple of weeks, and I know a few of you know I've been incapacitated, shall we say. But thank you so much for all the healing and the kind messages I've received. I'm on the mend, I'm on up going forward and moving upwards. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your messages and thoughts. It's really appreciated. And that's what our Sunday gatherings are about. It's bringing us all together, like Sandra's already touched on, and trying to heal hearts and minds in any small way we can and truly make a difference in this world, because it's not always the best place to be. Not everybody's in the best place at this moment in time, but hopefully we can inspire, help, and do whatever we can to make that difference, as small as it may be. So, as Sandra said, I've been on a course with Dominic and the Together with Spirit team this week, just down the road in Brighton. It was an amazing week with the tutors and all the people we met. So I haven't got a theme as such for this week, but it's a continuation, if you like, of the Brighton conference. And some of the music is linked to Brighton. We'll have Brighton mentioned in it. And there's an Elton John song on later, which is not about Brighton, but he's sung it in Brighton in a concert. So I hope you enjoy all the music that's been picked. So today you've got myself, who will be doing the opening prayer and part of the address. You've got Sandra, our hostess for the mostess, who will be doing all the behind the scenes things, but she'll also be doing today's reading, today's healing, and the words for the week. And then we've got the wonderful Dominic Boag with us today, who will be doing part of the address with myself, obviously our demonstration of mediumship and the closing prayer. So without further ado, if you'd like to close your eyes and join me for today's opening prayer, and we shall begin. We come together here today as friends, brothers and sisters, united together under that banner of We Don't Die. As we come together here, united as one, we do so all for the same goal and intention within our hearts and our minds, to bring those two worlds together once again. To our dear friends, helpers and loved ones in that world we call unseen, we unite here today in love, peace and harmony, and in coming together we do so with no demands or no expectations, but we allow our workers to be free and open, to share those words and thoughts expressed to them from your world to ours, that all here can choose to listen to bring us those moments of peace, joy, healing, and upliftment. And as we enter into this Sunday gathering, we do so with an open heart and an open mind, knowing that anything and everything is possible, as we allow ourselves once again to fall back into the arms of eternity and to be within your presence. And in doing so, we come together in a knowing and understanding that there is no boundaries or barriers to your world. Each and every one of us is treated as equals. Languages spoken, countries of residence, personal background and personal understanding holds no boundaries and barriers. So we can all come together united as one, allowing each and every one of us that same experience to immerse ourselves in that unconditional love and that healing balm, so that when we leave this Sunday gathering in a much better place. And we find an absolute joy and a privilege to walk hand in hand, side by side with your world once again. And for all those workers here today, we deem it a joy and a privilege, and each and every one of us will do this to the best of our ability and the best of our understanding, so that we can go forward and truly make a difference to all of mankind. And as we enter into this Sunday gathering, we do so with our hearts and our minds full of joy, positivity, and upliftment, so that we truly can create that perfect meeting ground for the two worlds to come together once again. And we ask, as always, that that healing light continues to shine to all four corners of our world, to bring that love, that happiness, and that joy to all those hearts and minds that may be in need on this day. So without further ado, my friends, we welcome you here today. Amen.
Thank you so much, Darren. Today, I'd like to talk about peace and the difference we can all make. Yesterday's shooting here in America really got to me. Currently, here in America, as we get closer to election time, it feels like there's a war going on between political parties. And around the world, there are wars going on with so much pain and so much suffering. It is human nature for us to have disagreements, to look at what's wrong in the world, to complain, to gossip. But it takes something to choose another path, to look for what's right and good in the world and in our lives, and to be grateful for them. I want to remind you of this story, and I'm sure you've heard it before. One evening, an old Cherokee told his grandson about a battle that goes on inside of people. He said, "My son, the battle is between two wolves inside all of us. One is evil. It is anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith." The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf wins?" The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed." Peace on earth, my friends, does not start someday when a war ends or when someone is elected or re-elected. It begins today with our thoughts, our words, and our actions. I ask you, who would you rather be with? Someone who is complaining about one political party or the other, or someone who has positivity, who has kind words to say, who is generous, who is inspiring, who is grateful, and who is fun? You know the answer. So how do we begin, you ask? Well, Mahatma Gandhi said, "Carefully watch your thoughts, for they become your words. Manage and watch your words, for they become your actions. Consider and judge your actions, for they will become your habits. Acknowledge and watch your habits, for they shall become your values. Understand and embrace your values, for they become your destiny." So we all know, don't we, that our thoughts and words really do matter. I want to remind you of the rice experiment that Dr. Masaru Emoto did. He had families all over Japan boil one pot of rice and separate it into 2 glass jars and put the jars in different rooms. One rice jar was showered with positive words, thoughts, emotions, and actions. The other jar was treated with negative words, anger, thoughts, negative emotions, and actions. At the end of the 2 weeks, families collected these glass jars and put them together. They examined them. The first jar of rice was golden colored and smelled sweet and nutty. The second jar of rice turned black and smelled foul. Can you guess which jar was in which room? I think you can. You see, knowledge is power, and it's the first step in change. The Bible says, "For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them." So I truly believe that there's power when we act together in this. Can I ask that each of us, myself included, that we don't fuel the gossip in our lives, and instead we share some positivity? Here is what Mother Teresa said, and I think this could provide some framework to get started. She said, "Let no one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. Be the living expression of God's kindness. Kindness in your face, kindness in your eyes, kindness in your smile." And I might add, we can sprinkle in a little gratitude and fun also. And if you are going to share something on social media, my recommendation would be make it happy. Okay? So I want to thank you for listening to my reading. We are going to move on into our healing segment. Darren has picked just a lovely video with beautiful music from the area that he lives in and where the workshop was this past week. And as we sit for healing, I know there are several members of our Sunday gathering that could use some healing. I know we have some people in our lives that need some healing as well, or speed up the recovery process. For that, let's think of them as healthy, whole, and well. All right? See them at their best. Also, for situations in the world, see them at their best, resolved, people living in peace. And speaking of peace, everybody can use some. Whether we agree with someone or not, I believe we each have a divine spark within us, and we can allow that to grow. And as it grows, we can be, like Mother Teresa said, that living example of kindness. So why not just imagine kindness and that light growing within each and every one? You don't have to work at this. If you simply want to send a loving thought for healing, you can do that as well. So I'm going to start that music video, and then the next voice you'll hear after the video ends will be from our friend Dominic.
Well, what a beautiful, beautiful song to take us into the next portion of the Sunday gathering. And to be very honest, Sandra, I think you've covered a lot that had and needed to be said. So your words itself have trickled a thought for us all to move forward. But here we are on the Sunday gathering as we come together under the banner of We Don't Die. We are all seeking truth. We are all seeking proof of life after death. And it has me thinking, here we are in this one world, maybe in different countries, speaking different languages, perhaps even different religions. But here we are in this one world that we are doing our best to try to survive. We're doing our best to try to keep moving forward as life itself will throw us some challenges. But there's one thing that we all have in common, one thing that we have all experienced and will continue to experience. And unfortunately, that is grief. We are all unique individuals, but the one thing that we will all have in common is sadly, we will lose someone so special. And it had me thinking, as we were together this week, coming together to teach other mediums, enhance their ability. Our agenda with this week was to help teach, to help nourish, and help each student move forward in their own power. And as the week began to unfold, it began to become very obvious to me that it wasn't about teaching them. It wasn't about enriching them with knowledge and experience. It was about helping them heal, helping them come together with strangers and actually say, I feel vulnerable. I don't know where I am, but I know I need to heal. Now, isn't it interesting that we come with an agenda as tutors to teach? And isn't it impressive that the Spirit bring people together with a commonality of what needs to be addressed? And we had 4 different teachers, 4 different classes, and in each class there was different people with different experiences. And as we would meet after some classes in the staff room, we all started to see it's more about those who are needing healed rather than those who have come to learn. Death itself is a horrendous word. It's a word that, if we are honest with ourselves, we are all terrified of. Whether it's the death of ourselves or whether it's the death of a loved one. Each and every one of us sitting here today have experienced it and will experience it. And what we're really trying to do is we're trying to heal as we move through life. We come to these seminars looking for evidence of life after death. We come to these events and part of We Don't Die and Sandra's experience is helping others understand that hard word death. Helping people realize there is more to life than death, and that death itself is only but a wind in the road. But what we do have in common is we're all trying to heal. We're all trying to see tomorrow. We're all trying to see the next month, the next year. And I'm not talking physical healing. I'm talking emotional healing, of trying to heal that broken heart that got shattered because of the loss that we had experienced. I know myself, I had no interest of what happens when we die. I had no desire to commune with the so-called dead. But unfortunately, death came and knocked on my door. And that death that knocked on my door was the awakening of who I am today. But I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that journey of my growth, of my healing, that was a roller coaster. That was a roller coaster that I did not see the highs and then those big jumps down. I didn't see the curves along, but I knew I had to try. And as Sandra said, it's important that rather than spreading gossip or spreading negativity, we have a conscious decision to look at each other and say, I see your pain. I understand your pain. Let's walk through it together. Let's try our very best to bring a little bit more light into someone's darkness. Because who knows? Maybe that will come back to you in your moments of need as well. So here we are as teachers, eager with a plan of what we are going to teach the students. We are going to work on this, Dominic says. We're going to sit into the darkness, Scott would call. We're going to draw, Josephine would say. And Yolanda would gently call, we're going to create the power. But here comes the bigger picture. Here comes the Spirit saying, come into my silence and allow us to gently whisper what the need is. And as we move through the teachings, we start to see the smiles come on people's faces. We start to see them come back alive again. And as we nourish and guide and say, it's okay not to be okay, you're with people who understand. And the thing I would say is, each and every one of you tuning in today, you've been there. You've understood the pain, the grief, the bereavement, that sometimes you just did not want to get up in the morning. You didn't want to look in that mirror as you were brushing your teeth. That itself is okay. But it's what comes after. Because we know that there is life after death. But it's important that we who are still here acknowledge a part of myself passed away as well. And that's where we have to accept. Perhaps I do need some healing. Perhaps I do need to heal. And as I move forward in this healing process, perhaps my loved ones come closer again to me. Perhaps I will start to see the signs of the hummingbird, the rainbow. Maybe you become aware of smelling your mother's beautiful perfume once again, or hearing that song that your husband always whistled as he was making the Sunday roast. Healing isn't about trying to be okay. It's not about trying to put on a mask that forces a smile, but it's about saying, I'm willing to try. So please do not beat yourself up as you navigate through grief. Please do not allow yourself to try to be so strong that eventually you crumble. There is people out there who are willing to help you get back up. And if they can help you get back up, then eventually you will be able to be that hand to help someone else who needs to get back up. So just remember, healing starts within. That will cause a ripple effect. And who knows, maybe one day we'll be able to heal this world. But until then, let's start with self. I will then pass you over to Darren.
Thank you for those lovely words, Dominic, and that wonderful reading, Sandra. Both complemented each other side by, kind of flowed. There's a theme there and a presence there. And when it comes to these talks, you think, what am I going to talk about? Your brain starts going to overdrive. And do you know what? Sometimes you have to sit back and put it in the arms of the other world and hope that it just flows as it's meant to be. And Dominic's right, when we come to do these events, and we've done many events over the years with Together with Spirit, We Don't Die, and you always question, why are we doing these events? Not for any negative way, but you want to kind of understand the purpose and the reason behind these events. And like Dominic said, normally it's to teach different aspects of mediumship, help people to grow, help people to understand how to become better workers of the unseen world. But actually it changes. And I think every course I've done, whether it be with Dominic, Sandra, it's never gone how it should have gone. It's never gone how we planned it or intended it to be. It always evolves or adapts for the reasons like Dominic explained. You've got people there in grief. People come to these courses, these conferences, whatever you want to call them, not necessarily to always be a medium. And that's what we seem to forget. People want to, we think as people that people want to come and learn and train to be a medium. But actually, probably over half the people on the course are coming to understand mediumship, want to come and understand about the unseen world, how it works, how they can help people, how they can heal, how they can help people heal. And when I look at the spiritualist movement as a whole, I make a comparison to our world. When you look at our world, there's wars, there's fights, there's loveliness, there's wonderfulness. And to be quite honest, we've got that within spiritualism as a whole as well. We've got the wonderful, the loveliness, but we have the fighting and the bickering and the wars. And I always say, why? Why do we have this in this movement? You know, you look at certain individuals, and I'm sure everyone here listening has probably experienced some of this themselves. I know I have. I know Sandra has. I know Dominic has. You know, you get individuals, and I know Sandra's touched in about being positive, but sadly, you always get the negative ones. They always want to put people down. They always want to proclaim to be better than that person, stronger than that person, whatever it may be. And I always say, why? We're all here to do the same thing. We're all here to make a difference in a positive way to people. And you come on these courses, conferences, whatever you want to call them. And like Dominic said, it really opens your eyes. You know, we all come together through that common denominator of grief. And we've all experienced grief at different times, different levels, different degrees. And I always say you can never comprehend or understand another person's grief. We're all made up different. We were all brought up different. We all behave and act different. We have different emotions. So we can never compare our grief to anybody else's grief. But the amount of times I go on these conferences and you listen to people's stories and you end up crying for them and you think, that is horrific. How can someone still be here standing when they've gone through the absolute trauma that you can't even comprehend or understand? And sometimes multiples of times they've gone through it. And you sort of listen to their story and you think, and you sort of say, well, why are you here? Not in a horrible way, but what's brought you here today? And it's for exactly what Dominic's talked about. It's not to learn to be a medium. It's not to learn to be on the platform giving out messages. It's they've come to be with people that understand them, that can nurture them, that can hopefully help them heal in some way, shape, or form. And when I compare the spiritualist movement to the outside world, for me, there's workers of the unseen world, which are spiritual workers, and you've got the non-spiritual people that work for the unseen world. And I'm hope I'm right in this, and I'm sure I am. I try to be a spiritual person that's a worker for the unseen world. And I know for a fact Dominic is and Sandra are. But sadly, you do get those people within this world, and you hear it in people's stories. You know, they go for readings with mediums, and, you know, the information and they're giving them, what they're telling, they're not working on a spiritual path. They're working for their own ego. They're working for their own desire and their own goals. And I'm sure you'd all agree with me. We've seen it. I've been in this movement many, many years. I know I look old, but you know, I've been in there for many years, and I've experienced all sorts, good and the not so good. And I always question myself, why? Why are these people doing this? You know, you get people preying on the vulnerable. They see people in grief, suffering, and they take advantage of that. And I know Dominic's, you know, a bit of an advocate for it, and he mentioned it on the course we just did. There's so much nonsense out there within our movement now, you know, and it's you hear it, you see it. I mean, I've seen it on numerous occasions, and you get a medium that starts to give out information. You know, I have a gentleman here, I understand to be father, looking for his daughter, and then it'll change to, you know, someone's grandmother, and they're looking for, you know, their nephew. Well, how? If you're working as a medium or as a worker for the unseen world, and you're hearing, seeing whatever it is you're experiencing that information, how can it change from a man to a woman, you know, from a friend to a sister? It doesn't work like that. And there's so much of it going on. And sadly, it's getting worse. You know, I've seen it on numerous occasions. I go to my local churches to help support and what have you. But that's the one thing that really, you know, you've got people coming to these things, coming to the churches, the events, the conferences, whatever it is. They're coming for upliftment. They're coming for healing. They're coming for understanding. They're coming for inspiration. And then we wonder sometimes why the spiritualist movement gets such a bad name and people don't. And we're not here to convert people or make people believe. But when people make that conscious decision to enter into a spiritualist church, a spiritualist centre, attend a spiritualist conference, whatever it may be, We want to give them the best experience that we can give them. And for me, that's, working truly on behalf of the spirit. As a worker of the unseen world, you follow the guidance, the inspiration, and the instructions from the spirit, not from yourself, not from your own ego. And sadly, you do see a lot of that. Um, and I do. And when I get really talking, I get on my soapbox about it. Um, but I think we as a group, and that's why myself, Dominic, Sandra, Scott, Josephine, Yolanda, we come together and do these sort of conferences, gatherings. The Sunday gathering is a prime example, because we're trying to eradicate that. We're trying to eradicate the negativity in the movement, the nonsense in the movement. We want to create a culture of people within the spiritualist movement, like, you guys all watching and listening here today. Hopefully, you're watching and tuning in as regular people, because you can see with the people we have on, Sandra, Dominic, and all those that have been on the weeks before, we're all here doing things on behalf of the spirit world, trying to do it the right way. Are we experts? No, none of us are experts. But for me, just trying to do it in the right way with the right intent, that is our goal. That's why we set up the Sunday gathering when myself and Sandra were talking and discussing it, because we've seen so much out there that's not from the spirit. It's coming from people's own minds, people's own egos. And like I said, that's why we do what we do. So we do have this question, like Dominic said, why do we do these conferences? We've had it with Sandra when we've done a We Don't Die. Why do we do it? We do it because we're truly here to be some kind of healing, or give that kind of healing, whatever we can do to help everyone and anyone in need. We're not going to do it all overnight. We're not going to achieve the whole world overnight. But if we can just inspire and help just a small group of people like you guys watching and listening now, hopefully you can go off and inspire and influence other people. And that's how it works. That's how it spreads. But I think as a collective, we need to stop with this, these people that are doing these things. And I don't mean going bashing them over the head and, eradicate them that way, but we need to stop giving them that power. We need to stop interacting with these people. We need to stop giving them our money. If they're not producing or doing things on behalf of the unseen world, people shouldn't be paying them. And I hear it time and time again. People go and see a medium, and especially when you're in grief, you're suffering. You can't. You need that person to be empathetic, understanding, and you should be coming away from that person feeling, not saying you'll be healed, because you won't, it takes time, but you should have that little glow, that little light in front of you. You should be feeling that a little bit better, a little bit more uplifted. And if they're not, and they're sitting there feeding you a load of old nonsense, we shouldn't be paying them, because they're not doing what they should be doing, and they're not doing it from the right place. So that's my rant over, I believe. But I think if we can all think along that same frame of mind, like Dominic and, I was going to call you Josephine then, like Dominic and Sandra spoke about in their talks, let's eradicate that negativity. Let's eradicate the fraudulence, the egos. Let's fill this movement with positivity, happiness, smiles, and continue to drive forward that message. Love and life are both eternal and can never be eradicated. And that's the key thing we should be driving forward here, and providing between all of us in some way, shape, or form that inspiration, that evidence, whatever it is, needs to be to show to those that are in their depths of grief, love and life will never die. And that's the message we need to keep driving forward in the positive, constructive, and the right way. So thank you, and I'll hand you back to Sandra.
Thank you so much, Darren, and thank you, Dominic. Beautiful words by both of you for our address. Everyone, take a moment right now as you're looking at us, or me, and just imagine in your mind's eye, out of your peripheral vision, you see your loved ones that are no longer walking this earth. Just take a moment and just see them. Maybe you can feel their love. Maybe one puts their hand on your shoulder. And you're all looking at the screen right now, and you're happy to be together. Well, this doesn't just happen on Sundays. It doesn't. Your loved ones are a very active part of your life. And I know I know they wish so much that they could do big and bold things to let you know that they're right by your side. Why on the Sunday gatherings do we have our demonstration of mediumship is to let you know how close they are, how they're still a part of your life, how they love you, and how they communicate with you. Really, it's through those subtle things, those thoughts and feelings and memories that come out of the blue, all gentle signs that I'm still here with you. That's a beautiful thing. We're going to see them again. So today we have Dominic who will be doing our demonstration of mediumship. And I just want to let you know how this goes today. I know we always have some new members to our Sunday gathering. Dominic is a tutor and a longtime medium. Even at such a young age, he got a very early start. He's such a good man. And when he works with the spirit world, what I imagine with all good mediums is that they open themselves up as a vessel. I'm here, use me. You know, there are people here that need to hear from their loved ones. There will be people in the spirit world that will present themselves to Dominic, whether they put an image in his mind, a feeling, a song, a smell, a taste, who knows? They will give him some information to kind of sum up who they are. So you'll hear Dominic give a few initial bits of information about the spirit person that is with him. Your loved ones know exactly who's here today, okay? So, you know, sometimes we think that we design the theme of the Sunday gathering, but I think the spirit folks plant it in our minds. They are as much involved with this as we are with them. You see Dominic, Darren, and myself representing us, all of us on earth. Well, there will be a handful of people that come through working with Dominic, giving their messages on behalf of all of our loved ones. So if your loved one doesn't come through today, doesn't mean they're not there. What you'll find with any good medium demonstration is that, like, there are words for all of us, maybe in my reading and Dominic and Darren's address. Those in the spirit world will deliver messages and those feelings of love and letting us know just how close they are. Those messages are for all of us. They really are. So pull those messages towards you. If after Dominic gives his few initial bits of information about this spirit person, you recognize them and you say, hey, that's my loved one. I know who that is. Now, it's going to be somebody who no longer physically walks this earth. It might be a friend, it might be a family member, it might be somebody a little distant, somebody you worked with, or somebody from your past. But if you can understand all the information as somebody you know that no longer walks this earth, we want you to press your raise hand button. And now this right now is audience participation. So find that raise hand button and press it for me, would you? And why this is important that we do this is because sometimes there's more than one person who can take those initial bits of information. So we want everybody listening in, because Dominic may work a little further to narrow it down to one hand standing, so to speak. So you'll need to know where you can press the lower hand button. So if you would now press it, it should say lower hand, and you can take your hand down, or lower your hand, I guess is the best, the right words to use for that. Should you work with Dominic or any of our mediums on our Sunday gathering or anywhere out in life, do your very best just to say yes, no, or I don't know to the information that they bring. For you to be left, and all of us to be left, knowing that our mediums are really working with someone in the spirit world, we feel their presence. Let the medium do their work. So often people want to volunteer about their loved ones, and then we're left with, did my loved one really come through, or did I say that? So to avoid that happening at all, can I have your word that you're just going to say yes, no, or I don't know if you work with Dominic? Okay, I heard you. It really is as easy as that, okay? If you are somebody who works with Dominic, I know you can't see an unmute button on your screen right now. When we get down to that one person who's left with their hand up, I press a magic button on my side, and then a button pops up that asks you to unmute, and you see just where that is. So that's as simple as that. We always like to play a piece of music before our demonstration. Darren has picked a lovely one, which I think probably takes place in your area as well, but it's Sir Elton John and Darren, who plays Elton John in the movie. It's just a beautiful song. So remember how I had you imagine your loved ones by your side, bring them in for this song too. You can all just enjoy it. They really are with you. This is not a hope or a dream. This is the reality. They continue to learn and grow and experience in the spirit world, but they are just one breath away and can easily keep one eye on us and continue their dreams in the spirit world. Okay, here's our song, and then we'll be back with Dominic for the demonstration. That is one beautiful song. Dominic, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Sandra. This is the fun part. This is the part that we all hope to receive a message from a loved one in the spirit world. But here is my message to you just before I go into my mediumship, because I won't connect to all 140 of you all. However, I want you to know that this world is wonderful because you are in it, exactly like Elton John said. So always think about that. But I know as I connect to the spirit world and I invite the spirit world to come forward, I am very much aware of Mum in the spirit world. And I know that Mum would have been very involved in her church. I know she would have played piano as well because she showed me the piano keys. I know she had a beautiful piano at home with her as well. And I know that the name Rose and I know that the name Mary or Marie would connect to Mum as well. But I know she wants to talk about towards the end of her life, she received care either within a care home or a care facility, because she tells me to say that towards the end, her mind just was not her own. And my last piece of this beautiful lady's evidence, I feel she makes it within her 90s with age. I feel that she's in her 90s with her age.
Thank you very much, Dominic. Okay, friends, who understands this beautiful lady? Please press your raise hand button for us. All right. We have a friend. Rick, if you could find that unmute button and press it.
Got it.
Hi, Rick.
Hey,
Welcome.
Rick.
Hello.
Perfect. You would understand this to be Mum, yes?
Yes.
Yes, and you would understand the name Rose and the name Marie connecting to Mum as well, correct?
No.
Okay, I need to stick with the two names, the Rose and the Marie. I feel either one would be a sister or a sister-in-law, but I know she would be with Mum in the spirit world.
No.
No, I'm going to hold on to that then, Rick. Thank you so much for trying, but I want to hold on to my evidence. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Rick. You just keep listening in. All right. Let me just see here. We have, when we're asking, you can take all of the information. All right, friends, all of the information. Pamela is with us and Morvin. Pamela's right here, unmuted, I believe. Pamela, are you there? Pamela?
Yes, hi.
There you are.
Hi,
Hi.
Pamela. If you could just gently tell me what you understand, my darling.
Rose, I understand that. Mary would be, instead of Marie, I think you mentioned it could be Mary or Marie. And all of it about being in a home and losing kind of cognition towards
And
the
you
end.
understand the piano with Mum as well?
Yes.
Yes, fabulous, sweetie. That does feel right. I always say with the Mary and the Marie, just because of my Scottish, sometimes can change how it sounds to the sitter. But this does feel correct, my darling. But would you understand with Mum if I says to you, she was such a spiritual woman, such a religious woman, such a woman of faith and morals when she walked this earth, darling?
Yes. Yes.
Because I know as I connect here with her, she talks about not forcing religion, but in a sense, she was the type of lady that she said, we all need something to hold on to. We all need a faith to follow us through. And if I'm correct with this, I do feel there would have been a time where Mum lived very much either on the same street as the church or in the same neighborhood as the church, but I feel I can hear the bells. I almost feel I can see it. I feel she lived very close to the church. Would that be correct?
I'm not sure. I'm not.
Okay, because I also want to talk about, like I said, I can hear the church, but I need you to remember why or where I get the connection to Church Street as well. Okay, because I keep seeing this being placed onto the wall here as well, sweetheart. But I do get the impression with your mum, she does make me feel very much that her passing to the spirit world was made peaceful, was made graceful, because not only did she have professional care, her family, yourself, your siblings, the family were there by her side as much as they could, correct?
That is correct. And
Yes.
our church was on Church Street, so I don't know if
Yeah.
that matters.
As long as that makes sense to you, but that's what she tells me, darling, so I have to go with that. But I need you to know, my darling, that as your mum makes her transition to the spirit world, I almost get the impression of her passing either towards a birthday or on her birthday, but I see people in the spirit world greeting her with flowers and a great sense of celebration, of being celebrating both sides of life. So I need you to know, as your mum did make her transition, she went with a great sense of peace. A great sense of peace, darling. I know there was moments where mum just was not fully communicating towards the end. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I just want you to know, I know what you had done for me. I keep hearing people praying for her as well. So I know that people were coming in and praying for her and saying prayers. But can I just ask you, sweetheart, just as I connect here with her a little bit closer, would you understand if there would be a granddaughter or perhaps a niece still here connecting to your mum that either now plays piano or has went on to develop music themselves?
Um, that's a possibility.
Okay.
That's a
Now
possibility.
I'm not getting it too clear, but I'm aware of mum just looking to our side of life and seeing this beautiful young lady playing piano or keyboard, if you would. And I just know that your mum from the spirit world does her best to inspire those still here as well. Okay.
Yeah.
And I keep getting an L, so maybe look for like Lucy or Louise, like a female with an L may help that, Pamela. Okay, sweetie. But your mum is an absolute angel physically when she was here, and she's still an angel in the spirit world, darling. And I know that you felt very blessed to call this lady your mum, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank
And you
you.
still wear your mum's ring, would that be true?
Um, her ring. Oh,
Keeps
actually,
showing me
yes.
the
Yes.
ring.
Yes.
Okay,
I have a
but I
little ring.
also want to say to you, there's something to do with yourself or a sister would have something that is now on a necklace or now on a chain as well. Okay, because she keeps telling me to say she is so happy that people all have different pieces of her. Would you understand
Mhm.
that?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Magellan, as you keep moving through your life, I want you to know that you allowed your mum to find herself again by giving her the love, the nourishment, and the permission to let go of our physical life and go and celebrate and party with her friends and her family in the spirit world. So sincerely, thank you so much for allowing me to speak with you.
You have no idea what that means to me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
God bless you, my
Thank you.
darling. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank
So
you.
now, as I move to the spirit world, I am very much aware of a young boy that steps forward here just now. And as I connect with him, he connected with me ever so gently, ever so subtly. And as I connect, I got the impression he would be your nephew. Okay. And I know as I connect here with him, he may have had a sense of maybe autism or Asperger's. There was a little condition that may have caused his own challenges in some way. But as I see him, I see this beautiful smile, but I know as he connects here with me, he would have went to the spirit world very quickly. I know he does not get to say goodbye to his family, so I know his passing to the spirit world would have been quick or would have been unexpected, is certainly what I want to say here. As I connect a little bit more, I know there would be a Matthew or a Matt that would connect with this young man, and I also get the impression of wanting to say Jason or JJ. There would be like a J strong connection also. But he came in because I was talking about music, and I know that music would have been a release to him. I feel he may have played drums or tapped a lot. I feel he at times would have spent time listening to his music in his earphones or whatever. The music would be a big thing for this young boy.
Thank you so much, Dominic. Well, we have 3 ladies with their hands raised.
Now, if I can just ask a little bit more, I do believe you would be my mother's sister, not on father's side. I feel I want to be on mum's side of the family.
Okay, we have 2 hands lowered. Stephanie and Anna, I'm just saying your names in case you accidentally raised your hand.
Can I jump to Anna for a second? Because I did hear the name Anna with my last lady, but I felt maybe that was just coming in with her. So let me just check with Anna first.
Okay, hello, Anna.
Hello. Hi,
Hello, Madonna.
Dominic.
If you can just gently tell me what you understand, sweetie.
I understand everything. I am a mother. Son's name, Jonathan. We call him JJ. He has a
Okay.
nephew from his sister, and all the rest you presented.
Okay, sweetie, thank you. Now, I want to be very honest, I've misconnected with him, but again, I know that I need to talk about being an uncle or being nephew, so maybe that's just where I presented that wrong, but if the rest of the evidence makes sense to you, I'm willing to unfold that. But would I be correct to say that you still, to this physical day, have a hat or a baseball cap belonging to your son?
Yes, I
Yes,
do.
and I know that I also want to talk to you about a t-shirt that would have a word or initials on it that either you have made into a cushion or made into a teddy bear, but I know there had been a gift or something that had been made with a piece of his clothing. Would that be true?
Yes, and I also have his teddy bear and all of
Wonderful,
his
wonderful, sweetie. That's okay, thank you. And I know also as I connect with the Matthew or the Matt, I know that I want to talk about allowing my mum and my family to remember, as much as I didn't get a long life to make wonderful friends and wonderful memories, I need you all to know I was blessed with the love and the friendship that I did have when I was here. I know there is a name within a star, so whether this is a Christmas bauble or an ornament, but I want to talk about where there would be this beautiful thing that had been engraved for him as well. Would that be true?
Yes.
Yes, and I know as I talk about a Christmas tree, I also know that my friends and my siblings have also either planted a tree for me or planted something within a yard or a garden as well. Would that be true?
Yes, it is.
Wonderful. Now, I know as he connects here with me, it's important that I say to you, whatever incapacity that he had, whatever small challenge he lived with here physically, it's important to remember what love and compassion and healing he gave to those here. So I know that he was such a sensitive young man that gave so many people an opportunity or a reason to smile, if I can say that to you. I know that you would have memories of him sitting in the kitchen beside or at the kitchen table or the dining table as he's eating. I keep wanting to say cereal. And he would tap with his hands or he would tap with his fingers, but I feel you would have memories of him doing this. Would that be true?
Yes.
Because he tells me to say to you, I don't tap the wood anymore, I tap your head. So I feel he taps to give you a sign that he is with you. Have you recognized this?
Thank you. I do feel tickles and yes, like gentle taps on top of my head.
That's okay. Now, would I be correct to say that his father's father would also be within the spirit world, his grandpa?
Yes, he
Yes,
is.
because I know he would be there in the spirit world as well. And I know as I connect with this gentleman, there would be connections to either a farm or a small village. I feel like I'm going country or rural with that gentleman. Would that be true?
Yes, very
Yes.
rural.
Because I know that I want to say to you, your son and I want to say his pappy or grampy, has built this beautiful relationship stronger than what they had physically. And the gentleman is teaching him about heritage, about the family, about the land. And I know that that man and your husband or your son's father would have memories to where there would be horses connecting as well. Would that be true?
Yes,
Fabulous. Now, I
very.
could go a little bit more and talk about the horses and the things that were done, but I need you to ask, if you don't know this, do you know if there was a donkey?
Oh, I just, as you said, horses, I said donkeys. As this was the
Wonderful.
coastal
Because that's
part
just
where
your,
they used mules and donkeys.
yes, yes. Because just as I seen clairvoyantly the image of the horses in the field, your father-in-law corrected me with, they are donkeys, they
Yeah.
are mules. Okay, sweetie. The beautiful thing with your son being here in the spirit world, I know that he is very happy, overwhelmed of being an uncle, overwhelmed of people celebrating his life, but he keeps telling me to say, Mama, Mama, you must understand, it was my role in life to look after you. So I know as your son shines very brightly in the spirit world, he shines that bright healing and that love for you from the spirit world. So what love you gave him, he now gives you back so much more, sweetie. Okay?
Oh,
Please do not refer to your son as gone, but refer to him as still him.
thank you. Even yesterday, I kept repeating to myself, I know you are alive, and thank you for relaying these messages. He did want to take care of me, so thank you
Well,
for
he still
ensuring
does.
I
He
feel
still
that.
does, my darling. Mwah. So much love to you. You keep being strong, okay?
Yes, God bless you, and thank
Bless
you
you,
all.
darling. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I now know as I move to the spirit world, I'm very much aware of a gentleman that steps forward from the spirit world that I know would have went to the spirit world with issues with his heart. I feel there was talk of surgery when I connected with him. I feel his tracheal valve or some valve may have needed a stent or needed to be blown up in some way to help it flow. But I know as I connect with this gentleman, he would have connections to the fire service, because I know as he connects here with me, he dedicated a lot of his life of looking out for others, to help others. He talks about being a hero. He talks about his pride in his service. I know that Bobby or Bob would connect with this gentleman because he presents me with this name. And I also know as he connects here with me, where you sit at the moment, there would be a photograph of him either on a cabinet or on a sideboard, but he talks to me about the photograph as well. And just quickly, I know that John or Jonathan would connect with this man as well, but I feel it's more John or Johnny.
Thank you so much, Dominic. All right, friends who understands this information, go ahead and press your raise hand button. Well, Anna has her hand raised again. Dominic? Hello, Anna.
Hello, this is my lucky day. John, it is my son's Jonathan father. He is also in spirit, and he did pass due to heart failure.
So it sounds like I wasn't finished, Anna.
No,
Do you understand the fire service?
somewhat.
Okay.
If you explain, I wasn't listening as I.
Oh, how dare you. I was very aware at the moment I connected with this gentleman. I do want to be honest, I'm not convinced that this is the same connection, okay? But I know as I connected with this man, he would have been connected either as a fireman or worked in the fire service.
He was not a fireman, but he was wearing a whole red hazmat suit, similar to firemen, when he was doing deep sea diving.
Okay, sweetie. I
And
get
so,
that, and I thank you for that, but I'm not convinced, Miss Sweetie. I'm really not convinced. I feel there's another connection here.
okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Anna.
Anna.
Dominic, we have Carrie and Janelle both with their hands
Carrie, I
raised.
want to speak to Carrie. I was about to say Karen, but if we've got Carrie, that's close.
Okay, Carrie, if you can press your unmute button. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Sandra.
Hello.
Hi,
Uh,
Dominic.
would you understand the connection with the fireman?
Yeah, my husband worked for a fire water damage restoration company. He was the general manager.
Perfect. And
Um,
do you understand where I've got the connection to the issue with the heart or talk of surgery with the heart?
yes, I do.
Perfect. And
Absolutely.
you understand the John or the Johnny?
Not Johnny, but you said something Bob, I thought. Bobby?
Yep, also Bobby. Yep, that's
That's
correct.
his brother that's still
Perfect,
here.
fabulous. So if you understand that, just hold on to the John or the Johnny. I will see how I fix that for you. But I was very aware of needing to get in and talk. So I know that with this beautiful man, not just being connected to the fire service and the whole work of it, I know he took a lot of pride in his work, if I can say that to you, sweetie.
Yes.
I know that he talks about the photograph of where you sit beside either a sideboard or a unit, but he talks about looking at his photograph a lot. Would that be true?
I do. Yes, all the time, every night,
Fabulous.
every day.
Wonderful. And I know also as he connects here with me, you and I, he says, you and I, we were, okay, before he passes, sweetie, was there talk of when he gets better or when he has his surgery, we're going to go Hawaii or we're going to go to the Caribbean? I feel
No.
like there was
We
talk
had
of
planned
taking
on
this
going to
trip or
Europe. We had
I
talked
keep
about going
seeing
to
like
Europe.
a cruise, like a ship.
It's funny. His mother-in-law was planning a cruise for her 80th birthday, but it's not happening now. So
Okay, that's okay, but he would have been aware of this, correct?
yes.
Yes, okay, because I can't change Europe but this is what he shows me. I know as I connect here with him as well, darling, he was so family orientated that he would look out for everyone else, friends, family, neighbors, but he forgot to look out for himself. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. That was
And I
him
know I need to
100%.
say to you, Carrie, I wouldn't change it, I wouldn't change it. He keeps telling me to say, you'll always be his baby girl. You'll always be my baby. Okay. But I
Oh,
know he would not change how he lived. Definitely not. But I know there was also talk of you trying to get him either to cut down a tree or to fix a tree in the yard. There was something that he didn't get to complete. Would that be true?
yes.
Yes, and he just keeps telling me to say he's glad that you have now been able to have things cleared up since he has passed. Okay, but one thing he keeps telling me to say is it's important that you acknowledge that he is still a part of you. He's still a part of your life. And I know there was a period of time where you either laid his photograph on the pillow in the bed or under the pillow, but I want to talk about the pillow situation. Do you understand that?
I do.
Yep. And he keeps telling me to say he remembers. He remembers you telling him how much you loved him and how much you were grateful. But he tells me to say it was an honor to be your best friend. Always remember that, baby girl. Always remember that.
Oh, gosh. Thank
Now, this
you.
sounds weird, but I'm just going to go with it and I'll finish on this.
Okay.
Would you accept if I says to you that sometimes if he was hungry and dinner was going to either be delayed or a little bit late, he would go into the cupboard and pull out the Cheetos, the snacks that used to annoy you?
Not really, because it didn't really bother me. Yeah, he did
Okay.
that, but
Because
it
what
was
I keep seeing him doing is opening what looks to me like a box of Cheetos or a bag of Cheetos, and he's like, yep, tell her, old habits die hard. I'm still doing the same. And I just felt like he was teasing because of the dinners or making efforts to make
okay.
dinner, and he was eating the junk, is what maybe we would say.
Yeah, it was popcorn mostly. Yeah.
Okay, popcorn, we can go with that. And just very quickly, was there any talk, or did he ever have a Corvette vehicle?
No, he never had a Corvette.
Okay, I need you to ask where there would be a photograph of the family standing beside a Corvette, because I see this very, very clear. Okay,
Okay.
very, very clear. And I need to say to you, to connect with this little bit more, there would be a connection to who lived on Mount Pleasant Ave or Mount Pleasant Street, but I know I have to say something to do with family connecting to there as well.
Okay,
Okay,
Mount
but
Pleasant Street.
what a
Okay.
beautiful, beautiful fella. beautiful fella. And I know that when we lost him, we lost a good man. But he felt so lucky that people came with the engines, the trucks, the uniform. People came to his celebration of life, he tells me.
Oh yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah.
It
Because he
was-
thinks he's famous. He thinks he's a rock star. He's like, well, not everyone gets this, you know.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you,
So,
Dominic,
darling,
so
you're
much.
so welcome. Keep rocking, rolling, keep smiling, because he is moving through life with you, by your side, just the way that he
Oh,
used to be
Dominic,
with
thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank
You
you.
take care, sweetie. Thank
You
you so
too.
much. Okay, what does that mean? So I'm very much aware of. I thought that was Dad, but it's just changed. Very much aware of a gentleman stepping forward here just now, and the first word he gave me was father, so I know he would connect as father here. But something gives me the impression of you feeling like you didn't get to Dad on time. So I get the impression of either being on vacation or had to take a trip to get to Dad before he passes, but it being too late. And I know as I connect here with him, there would be something very important with Dad of collecting coins. And I want to talk about either collecting coins from Europe or coins from Cuba, coins from different parts of the States and Canada, but he talks to me about his collection of coins. I also feel there would be a gentleman still here named after father. So I know like a junior, senior situation is what I want to say. Okay, because he presents this with me. But this conversation of not getting to Dad on time was very difficult for you to process, is what he makes me feel. Okay, I don't know if there's a connection to Chicago, but I keep hearing what sounds to me Chicago. So I'm just going to throw that in there to see what else we can do.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, friends, who understands this information? Go ahead and press your raise hand button for us, please. All right, Stacy has her hand raised, Dominic. Stacy, if you could unmute yourself. Hi, Stacy.
Hey, Stacy.
Oh, did you hear me? There I am.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
there you
you're
are.
here.
The only
What
thing
do you
I don't,
understand?
I understand everything except I saw him about a month before he passed and we were planning to go back and I could not get there before he passed. So I wasn't sure if that was the same.
That feels right for me, sweetie. But what I felt with Dad was his moment of passing. We didn't get to speak. We didn't have that moment.
That's correct.
Perfect. And I get the impression of not getting back on time or not getting to be on time. Just very quickly, I don't know if it's true, but is there any connections to Chicago?
Only flying through it. We
Okay,
we lived in Chicago when I was little. I take that back. I
that'll
forgot
do
we were
me.
there. Yeah.
That'll do me. That's fine. And would you understand where there's a connection to the name Davy or David?
Yes, I have a cousin,
Yep.
Dave. Yes.
Perfect. Just double checking you and I are together. And you also understand the thing about the beautiful different coins as well, yes?
Yes, he collected from
Wonderful.
different countries. Yep.
Yes, because I know there would be different ones, because what I kept hearing was francs. And for me, that would be old coins from maybe France, if I can say that to you.
Okay. I'm not sure
Okay.
where they're all from, but I have some.
That's okay. You can do
Okay.
research, but I just feel like the coins would have been very important to your father. I know as I
Yeah.
connect with him as well, he was very educational. He was a very intelligent man, if I can say that to you. And what I mean by this is he liked to keep up to date with affairs of what was going on politically, what was going on here, there. But there was times he would accept, I don't need to know this. I'm not interested. I focus in my world as well, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yep. And I know also as I connect with your father, he does make me feel very much that he did have a second chance at life. So I feel with his illness, he got better and then things changed along the way. Would that be true?
That's very true. Yes.
Yep. Because he tells me to say he appreciated the moments he had. He knows doctors done everything in their power to help him. But unfortunately, by the time they either opened him up or done more tests, they realized that things had been a lot worse than they expected. Would that be true?
That's true, yes.
Wonderful. Now, I know also as I connect with your beautiful father, he does bring to my attention through his work, so in his profession, through hard labor, through different roles within his career, that also took effect on his health and his well-being. Would that be okay to say?
Yes, it's true.
Yep, because I know that he was a type of man that he would do his best just to go get the job done rather than complain, rather than try to moan or fix it. But he would have spent time either helping either younger people coming into the role or teach them the roles. I almost feel like a mentor or someone that would bring in people who are doing apprenticeships or coming in through college or school. Would that make sense?
Yes, it would.
Yes, perfect. Because he keeps telling me to say, we all need a helping hand. We all need to start somewhere. And he says to me, he says, young man, I was not perfect by any means in this world. He says, but I done the best I could. I done the best I could. And I feel that's important to understand or to accept with Dad saying that. Do you understand who Joe or Joseph would be connecting to Dad that's also passed?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
another relative. Yes.
Perfect. Because I know he talks to me about being with Joe or with Joseph. I know somewhere there'd be a connection to a name that sounds something like Lewinsky or Lipinski's. So I'm not sure what that would be or
Okay.
how that connects, but I hear something like this. But your father keeps telling me to say, let everyone know that this is real, you know. This is real, because I know that there has been family members here physically alive that still don't understand your belief or your understanding of life after death. Would that be true?
Very true. Yes.
Perfect. You tell them that he has watched that, he is aware of that, and that's okay. He says, but how do I know that the name had to get fixed on the headstone?
Oh,
So I know there was a fixture or a reprint on a headstone. Would that make sense?
it's not coming to mind right now. I'm sure I'll think of it later.
Okay. What he shows me is family being re-added. So I want to look at his parents, okay,
Okay.
and where the headstone got brought back to life or reprinted. But that's what he brings to my attention.
Okay.
Okay. I feel he's finished, but let me just see. Would you understand, sweetie, if I says to you coming to the end of July, there would be a birthday here physically being planned?
Yes.
Yes, because he's talking to me about being here for the birthday, being aware of the birthday. I can smell a man smoking cigar smoke as well. So I'm not
Yep.
sure if that's your father or the other man, but I know that they want to be a part of this. They're going to be here and celebrate. But has there been talk of taking a trip to New York?
I live in New York. I just got
You
back.
live, okay. You just got back. Perfect. Now, just saying, that's his way of showing you he still watches, he is still around you. Okay,
Yeah.
my sweetie. So focus on what moments you had with Dad, not that last moment maybe we did not have. Okay.
Okay.
But he's smiling, he's gleaming, and he just almost tips his hat as if
Mm.
I'm all set to go. You don't worry. You don't worry. But
Yeah.
someone still has his name. I keep getting this feeling of someone still holds Dad's name.
My brother. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Ask him about the headstone, and I feel he'll be
Okay.
able to correct that for you, my sweetie.
All right. Thank you so much. That's very sweet. Thank you.
You're so welcome. You take care. Thank you very
You
much.
too.
Oh, thank you so much, Stacy. Thank you, Dominic. Oh, we love
Thank you.
you. Oh
Can we
my.
not do another hour or another hour? Or how
Well,
about another hour?
well, how about you're coming back in 2 weeks?
Yes, how about that? There
Yes,
we go.
yes, he sure will be. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have some announcements and some words for the week, and then we'll have our closing prayer. So don't go anywhere just yet. Our loved ones are all around, and you could feel it through those connections. And as crazy it would be for us to have each one of you, 140 people, speak today, we can't have 140 people from the spirit world. We would be here for days, but they are actively part of your life. So keep including them, keep talking to them. If you want to find out more about Dominic, his website is dominicboag.com. You can join him and Darren and Scott Milligan and friends Josephine and others in Barlow, which is in the Netherlands, in November. If you'd like, you can find out about that at togetherwithspirit.com. Also, in 2 weeks' time, our friend Scott Milligan is going to be part of a team doing a trance workshop at the Arthur Findlay College. You might want to join that as well. You can find all these things coming up at wedon'tdie.com. Coming up on Tuesday, Scott Milligan is offering 2 Sitting in the Power Hours with some instruction. They're just beautiful times to recharge your soul. That really is a great way to connect with the spirit world and boost that spiritual power that we all have. That'll be 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. London time on Tuesday. You get the recordings if you cannot join live, but join for that. On Friday, we're back with Scott for what we call In the Arms of Eternity. We start with sending healing to those who need it in the world, followed by a very interesting demonstration of trance mediumship. And I say interesting because we get to ask questions about life and death and the afterlife with our friend in the spirit world. So don't miss that. Again, replays included on just about everything we offer. We also have new classes coming up. Our friends Kath and Mitch Shirley offer a free grief cafe, which is like a support group, and they're advanced grief recovery specialists. Very, very good people. On my side, I've just released 2 more podcast episodes for you, now making over 640 podcast episodes for you. So yes, I know the reality of the afterlife and that we'll see our loved ones again, but more importantly, to help really support us in life and also through grief. So one of those episodes is best-selling author Sheila Lowe, who's written many, many, many novels. And it's the story of her connection with her daughter who's passed due to murder, unfortunately, but a really beautiful story. And then I was so lucky. We've heard of helpingparentsheal.org. Haven't we? A really great resource with well over 20,000 parents that are part of it. Well, I talked to Dad, Chris Ryan, who will be our guest speaker in 2 weeks when Dominic's here and Darren's here and I'm here. That will be on the 28th. Chris Ryan has compiled a book called Helping Fathers Heal. And it's a book with 25 different stories of fathers and their connections to their children in the afterlife. With that, he's also runs the support group Helping Fathers Heal on Zoom. So you can find out more about him at helpingparentsheal.org. Just click on affiliates and you'll see Helping Fathers Heal. And if nothing else, go to wedon'tdie.com. You can see his episode right on that main page at the front page, my episode with him. Okay, yes, I've just announced that Dominic, Darren, myself, and then we'll have guest Chris Ryan. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Of course, we'll be back with you again next week as well. And last, I want to just thank everyone who has donated to make our Sunday gathering possible. It helps. We never beg, but we do appreciate it. And what you have done for us by donating has made this available for 225 weeks and being able to make a difference. Sometimes the Zoom and technology and all that gets expensive. So if you'd like to donate, we won't turn it away. You go to wedon'tdie.com, click on the Sunday Gathering page. There you can also register for upcoming Sunday gatherings or watch past ones. But a big shout out to those of you who have donated. We thank you. We really thank you. Last, I just want to say for some words for the week, I brought a couple of things. The idea is, what are we going to do to keep this idea of peace or whatever it may be that you want to keep in existence in your life? So I have this calendar that I see every single day when I wake up. And today's message is, be happy and a reason will come along. Yes, be happy and a reason will come along. That all goes back to us creating peace and joy and positivity. It can start from us. It's not going to come from outside of us. It starts from us. And then also, this is my new friend, Turtle. You see Turtle? Isn't he just the cutest? Well, I have him next to my calendar because his eyes are closed. He's in that lotus position, reminding me to slow down, to connect, that answers aren't outside of myself, they are within. And that's also the place to go to connect with our loved ones. As much as we want some of these big, bold signs that they're here, they connect with the most quiet ways. They really do. Don't be surprised. Out of the blue, whether you smell a cologne or you hear a song, but even gentler than that, like a memory will come in from out of the blue. Those are all just little calling cards. And if you want to get the ball rolling, you sit quietly and you take a walk down memory lane and you just talk to them. And pretty soon, more and more things will come. You will see your loved ones again. They are very real. They are alive. And we don't die. Pretty much that's it. Name of the website, name of the book, and my core belief in life. We don't die. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Dominic for our closing prayer, and we have one more song for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Friends, let's come together once again just to give thanks for such a beautiful space that had been created. Divine Spirit, infinite intelligence, we graciously thank you for allowing us to have that knowing that life truly is eternal. We thank you for allowing us to have such a space that we can come vulnerable, broken, and have an opportunity to once again heal. We ask that you show us the light. Show us the light that we can carry into the shadows of other people's being and help them move from their grief and into the light and help them find the life in life again. We say this in your name, but most importantly in serenity and divine unconditional love. Amen.
Thank you so much, Dominic. And thank you, Darren. And to all of our friends joining us, thank you. And to our friends in the spirit world, thank you. We know you're by our side. Our last song, we're going to close it out with some love. We do love you. We do, we do, we do. And we will see you next week. So thank you again, Dominic and Darren and me and you. All right, everyone. See you soon. Love you. Go make it a great week.